Hey there, this is James Wolfen from Twin City Seed Company, and today I want to talk about bee lawns. So, bee lawns were the focal point of my graduate work at the University of Minnesota, and quite frankly, I think they're a vastly underutilized conservation tool, as they provide residents with the opportunity to protect pollinators in their own home yard. So, let's start off by talking a little bit about the components of a bee lawn, what goes into building the bee lawn seed mix. And it starts off with the turf grass, where here we're using low input turf, ideally fine fescue turf grasses, as the foundation of our mixture. We then mix in three low growing flowers, and each of the flowers included in the original bee lawn seed mix start to bloom at 3 inches or less in height. This allows us to create this beautiful matrix of flowers and grasses that support pollinators and also allow us to maintain the typical recreation associated with a home lawn. What I had the luxury of doing as a graduate student at the University of Minnesota was actually describing the bee communities that we observed on these bee lawns. And to our astonishment, we saw more than 65 bee species across the different bee lawn flowers. This is good for more than 15% of the bees in the entire state of Minnesota, a number that truly blew us away. And it wasn't just bees that we observed, we saw all sorts of other pollinating insects. We saw skippers like the ones pictured here, as well as various butterflies, moths, beetles, flies, all sorts of different pollinators. And it's so much more than simply pollinator conservation. They also help us reduce our carbon footprint. When we think about typical lawns, they require intense inputs in the form of mowing, watering, and fertilizer. Bee lawns have a much lower input need, so there's less watering, less mowing, and less fertilizer required to maintain a healthy looking bee lawn. They also help us protect local water quality. Bee lawns have these really deep root systems. That goes for both the flowers and the grasses included in the mix. So, Kentucky bluegrass, the root systems are just a few inches deep, but with the bee lawn, each of the seeds, each of the species have these root systems that are about 1 to 2 feet deep, sometimes even a little bit longer than that. This allows them to infiltrate more water than the typical lawn, helping us protect local water quality from stormwater runoff. And quite frankly, the best part about bee lawns is that they are full of life. We see beautiful bees using them for nectar, for pollen, bringing all sorts of color and nature back to your lawns. Bee lawns are an approved planting type for the Lawns to Legumes program out here in Minnesota, and we're hoping that all of you will feel inspired to be a part of the change and plant a bee lawn today, where we're making bee lawn seed available to consumers directly on the Twin City Seed website. Something that we're extremely excited about is our partnership with the University of Minnesota Bee Lab, where 5% of all of our bee lawn seed sales go right back to the university to support the great work and research that they do to protect our pollinators. If you found this information insightful, I'd hope you'd give us a follow on social media. Something that I'm going to be doing is releasing more videos just like this one to help educate folks on all things bee lawn and pollinator protection.